Hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're having a lovely Sunday. Having a lovely Sunday and a lovely weekend thus far. How is everyone doing? I am super ready to complete Case 5. It is the bane of my existence. But based on how long and crazy it is, could it possibly that it's the last case? All this secret government stuff, like, holy bejesus. If that is the case, then I need to look for some more detective games. Hang on. One I have in mind is Nancy Drew. Some of them are looking pretty creepy, and you know what? I'm all for it. I'm all for it. We have The Silent Spy, Shadow at the Waters. Okay, it's not giving me the ending. The Secret of Shadow something, Sea of Darkness, Ghost of Thornton Hall. Like, I need to do some research. Nancy Drew. Okay, I'm getting drama series. That's not what I want. I want game series. What if I just... Okay. Let's just Sea of Darkness. Okay. It does look pretty good. Another interactive game. The question is, what is the first Nancy Drew game? According to this, the first one was Secrets Can Kill. Nancy Drew. Secret of the Scarlet Hand. Oh, here we go. Secrets Can Kill Remaster. Remastered. So this is 2010. I'm going to go based on the order I have here. Based on the orders I have on the Wikipedia, so that would be pretty exciting if I can complete the entire Ace Attorney Chronicles today. Hi, Citrus friend. Hello, welcome to the stream. Sorry, I'm just looking. If I complete the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, I'm looking for like some more detective interactive games, and Nancy Drew is one of them. How are you, Citrus friend? How are things with you? Hope you're having a very good weekend, lovely. Stay tuned for danger. Oh, this. I don't think that would work. Steam does not have stay tuned for danger, so there we go. Oh, you can get like bundles. What's the beginner bundle? Nancy Drew Games Beginner Bundle. Are you as Nancy Drew game to solve these mystery adventures? Get all 5 Nancy Drew beginner games currently available on Steam. In this all new bundle, you will plunder Nancy Drew, danger on Deception Island. Nancy Drew, dossier, resorting to danger. Nancy Drew, dossier, lights, camera, curses. Nancy Drew, the haunted carousel. Nancy Drew, the white wolf of Icicle Creek. Are they really beginners? Available now. Play the all-new Nancy Drew mystery adventure, Nancy Drew Midnight in Midnight in Salem, not Midnight in Asylum. What the frick am I on about? They all seem pretty cool. I can understand. Okay, we'll keep an eye out. But first, let's play the game. Let's play the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. The problem is with playing Nancy Drew in order is that none of them are... The early ones are not available in... Steam, apart from one which was remastered. But yeah, let's go. Let's complete this. I promise I won't get too angry. I think it's time I imposed on the jurors to declare their final decisions, no? That is, unless you have some compelling evidence you have thus far not presented to the court. Right, there is some secret government stuff going on. There is some deal going on between the suspect, Egbert Benedict, or Ashley Graydon, and Inspector Gregson. So there's no choice then, Runa. You have to throw some more evidence at them. This is it now. It all comes down to this. Who do I present evidence against? Gregson or Graydon? I wish we can read this. Why do we have this if we're not using it? Have any evidence against Gregson? I don't think we do. Do we have evidence against Graydon? I don't think we do. Oh, Sherlock, why did you have to pass out? See, you see why that I am... Okay, Graydon. Mr. Graydon, there is one final piece of evidence I would like you to see. You misguided fool. Whatever you intend to show me now, you'll be wasting your time. I have nothing left to lose. Oh, he's got a point. I assure you, I will admit to nothing. One final piece of get him to admit to the deal he clearly struck on the stand. Oh my god, I hate this!
Take that!
Is that Mr. McGuilded's peculiar music box cancel? Oh my god, did I get it right? Yes, with the disc already in place, ready to play. I think perhaps now would be a good time to listen to the sound produced by the music box again. Only this time, with the second disc we've just discovered set in place as well. Goodness, this disc cancel? Oh wait, I got it right! No, wait, I can't let you do that! Why not? Because, well... Because it's got nothing to do with this case. Yes, it does! That's why. Then why did McGuilded have it? Not true, Inspector. Eh? The defense has already proposed that the sounds heard by the court earlier from this music box were part of a Morse code message. We know that Morse code comprises of 2 distinct tones. The defense believes that the second disc contains the second tone needed to complete the message. And now we have a chance to confirm that theory. For crying out loud, Sunshine, we're talking about state secrets here. If you go letting the whole courtroom hear confidential information like that, it's treason. It was already treason. Then do you admit the charge? That in order to protect those state secrets, you engaged in unlawful dealings with the witness? Oh, you're mad. If you let that secret information out into the public domain, you'll be making an enemy of the entire British government, you idiot. Judge? Unless the judge says otherwise. Let's not... Ooh, he hasn't punched her with his fist before. I'm all for this. Let's not forget, Inspector, that you, a Scotland Yard officer, leaked confidential case details to a witness. That you continue to lie to the court, and all because, by fair means or foul, you determined to do your duty. Well, by fair means or foul, I'm prepared to do mine. Don't you dare! I will stop at nothing to protect my client. I don't care who I make an enemy of. My lord, if you please. The court must hear the sounds made by that music box. Come on, Van Seeks, for Pete's sake, stop him. And Van Seeks is like, nope, just enjoying my wine. Well, Inspector, you should know my methods by now. I'm a prosecutor. I'm no Scotland Yard puppet. He's not going to object to me. See, here's the thing with Van Seeks I'm very confused of. At the beginning, he's like completely against me to what I say, becoming racist towards me. And then at the end, he completely agrees to my methods. You are so confusing. In this courtroom, my duty is to the law. So let me propose a toast to uncovering the truth. By fair means or foul. Gregson, you are fucked. Very well. The defense's stance here and that of the prosecution has been made very clear, I feel. Therefore, in accordance with the defense's request, the court will now listen as this music box is set in operation once more. I take it Jury 5 is going to hear this as well. This time with the second disc in place and both discs play simultaneously. seen them fearing the music box. Listen to that. It's unmistakable now. It's Morse code. Hold it! All right, I admit it. Whatever you want, but for the love of God, shut that bloomin' box up. I want Juror 5 to take in that message. Let me ask you again then, Inspector Gregson. Did you or did you not strike a deal with the witness next to you in the stand, Mr. Ashley Graydon? Specifically, did you furnish the witness with confidential case details in exchange for this music box disc? Did you reveal the existence of the peephole in the pawnbroker's storeroom door, Inspector? The answer is yes. I did. Stop! What are you doing, man? He can't lie in court, dude. It'd be perjury. It's all exactly like the young Eastern lawyer said. When the trial resumed after the recess and we were stood here in the stand together, that's when he approached me with the deal. Shut up, you imbecile! Shut up! Psst, you there? You're the detective who turned up at the pawnbrokery the other day, aren't you? I may have something you're looking for, Inspector, with me at this very moment. So how about a trade? I suggest you accept, or information that may make certain individuals uncomfortable will soon become very public indeed. I couldn't let that information become public knowledge, not under any circumstances. I mean, it's a bit tricky considering you were doing that in a public place where jurors, the audience, the lawyer, the prosecutor, and even the judge could see you. Little bit, you know, it's very bold. Very bold. I say that. So I accepted the man's proposal and told him details about the case that should have put him in the clear. I tell you what, this is like school, isn't it? This is like school. It's like a couple of teenage girls passing notes to each other, isn't it? And then they get scolded by the teacher, aka the judge. And told him details about the case that should have put him in the clear. Except it's not about like insults or boys. It's about, you know, secret government secrets and discs and, you know, if he's actually the murderer or not. Or he knows if there's a peephole in the back door. You know, that sort of thing. The peephole in the storeroom door and the bloodstains on the overcoat. By giving false testimony, this witness intended to have the defendant wrongly accused of murder. A 15-year-old girl. Inspector, you knew that. Yet you still revealed those details to facilitate the witness's perjury. What you say to that? I did. But then it turned out the peephole had only been made that night after the incident took place. Scotland Yard wasn't aware of that, if I'm perfectly honest. Well, Mr. Graydon, what do you have to say for yourself? There's a nothing and no one left for you to hide behind. You struck a deal with the inspector in order to escape conviction of a very serious crime, namely this. You are the third intruder who broke into the pawnbrokery on the night in question. And you perpetrated the murder of the proprietor, Mr. Pop Windybank. That's his first name, Pop. You... Oi! Traitor! Oh! Did Gregson die? Restrain that man! At once! That's it then. It's all over. I despised my life growing up. Those slums are vile places. I was cursed from birth, born into poverty, the son of a penniless artisan. All this is about Ashley Graydon. My parents did nothing but quarrel all day long. What little money they had was never spent on me. So I set about studying to better myself, to one day escape from that hellhole. And you eventually became a communications officer. I admire your determination. But then you decided to try to sell government secrets? Why? Isn't it obvious? Because I wanted money. I have no sympathy for this man whatsoever. Even now, years later, the nightmares of my life in the slums wake me in the small hours. I wanted to drown them out with more money than anyone who lived in that squalor could ever imagine. Then one day, I met him. Mr. Magnus McGuilded. You're a fiend with a queer talent, so you are. I've money to throw your way if you're interested. All you need to do is go along with me a little plan now. Cannot do Irish accents, I'm so sorry. I was to steal the ministry's telegraphic message logs, and McGuilded would buy them for a handsome sum. As I was responsible for inspections of the ministry's communications office, it was a simple enough task. The lure of the devil's offerings, how easy it is to succumb. But you must surely have realized the seriousness of the crime you were committing. And for that reason, I took great lengths to ensure that my actions were untraceable. By using the music box. My father was a brickmaker, though my mother divorced him when I was still a child. Yes, Mr. Mason Wilverton. That's right, he was very skilled with his hands. He'd once been a music box maker's apprentice. I imagined his skills would be sufficient to create a machine that could generate Morse code, so I sought out my father again to employ his services. It was the first time I'd seen him since I left the slums 10 years earlier. Look at you, Ashley. What a fine gent you've become, eh? He was a different man to the one in my memory, a thin, frail old man. But poverty had never broken him, never corrupted him like it had me. I was sure that he wouldn't help me if I told him the real reason, so I made up a story. I've got some work for you, Father. I need some music box discs made. Music box discs, eh? A musician friend of mine has written some music he wants to sell to the public. I brought the score with me. There are two, actually. I'll be delighted, son. It's been 20 years since I did any work like this, though. Fetch my tools, would you? They're in the loft. That's how I had him make the two discs. Thereby splitting the information in two. You are taking considerable precautions indeed. It was to protect myself as much as anything. It meant that I could deal with McGuilded in two separate transactions. The first involved the first of the two discs and the music box for playing them. I exchanged them with McGuilded for 10 guineas. Then, on receipt of the second disc, he would pay 1,000 guineas. So, what happened on the omnibus 2 months ago? Yeah, that is a question and a half, isn't it? Was the second part of the deal? The exchange of the second disc? Yes. I'd sold the man information that way a number of times already, but it seems he became reluctant to part with his money. But that doesn't quite make sense, Mr. Graydon. But why was it that on the omnibus 2 months ago, your father, Mr. Milverton, was the one dealing with Mr. McGuilded and not yourself? When I received 1,000 guineas after my first completed dealings with McGuilded, I decided to give 200 to my father for his troubles. But my father realized something was amiss. In time, he worked out that I must be involved in something dubious. And when he did, he said to me, next time there's an exchange, you let your old man do it, understand? Otherwise, I won't take your money anymore. Oh, he was just being a good father. Oh, I feel sad for Mr. Mason. I don't feel sad for Graydon, though. That was my father's way of dealing with it, I suppose. Climb into the omnibus, hand over the second disc, and take the money from McGuilded. That's it. He had no idea what was actually on the discs that I'd asked him to make. He never knew. Just like I'll never know why everything went so horribly wrong that night. All I know is that the disc was taken from him, and he never returned home. It was only then that I found out what sort of a monster McGuilded really was. So after 10 years of not once uttering it, I swore on my father's name to exact revenge. So did he burn the omnibus with McGuilded trapped inside? Revenge! As anyone with even the remotest knowledge of the man will no doubt be able to imagine, McGuilded brought all his wealth and influence to bear in the most despicable of ways. To crush any semblance of justice in his trial. The crime scene was tampered with, evidence was fixed, and witnesses were bribed. That trial 2 months ago was a farce from start to finish. My feet had barely touched British soil back then, and I walked into that hornet's nest, completely unaware of the sinister background to it all. I'd made plenty of money out of my dealings with McGuilded by then, so I spared nothing in my arrangements 2 months ago. I knew exactly who to hire. If you're willing to pay the price, there are people in this city willing to do anything you ask. McGuilded himself had shown me that. Are you saying that? I think you have the picture now. After he twisted everything to his favour in this courtroom to ensure that he walked free, I took matters into my own hands and delivered the justice that monster deserved. So he did kill him! That tragic accident following the trial here 2 months ago was planned and executed by yours truly. McGuilded's death that day was caused by this man. Everything is ready, sir. If you'd like to follow me into the courtroom. What's this, officer? It is sooner than I was led to believe. Oh my God! Is that him? Is that Ashley Craydon? I hope it's not inconvenient, sir. There were some changes to the schedule. Well, I must be making tracks now. It is time for the inspection. They're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself. So that policeman who came to tell McGuilded he could examine the omnibus again? That's right. An imposter, hired by me. Oh, okay. It was hired by him, not... It's not really him dressing as a bailiff. Okay. Good enough. McGuilded used his wealth to manipulate the trial. He paid people to adulterate the omnibus with all manner of false evidence. He threatened witnesses to lie in their testimony. This... McGuilded and this man, it's just... horrendous to deal with, so I gave the man a taste of his own medicine. Once the omnibus was doused in paraffin, one of my sham policemen ushered McGuilded inside and sent him on a one-way journey to hell. An eye for an eye. That's how I avenged my father's death. You didn't even care about your father. A spine-chilling account indeed. But that wasn't the end of it for me. There was a loose end, you see. A loose end? Yes, I should think it's obvious. The second disc, which my father had taken to exchange with McGuilded. Ah, yes. There was indeed no mention of it in the man's trial 2 months ago, clearly because it had been removed from the scene of the crime. When I realized it was missing, I remembered something. Something from the first time I dealt with McGuilded. This is the first of the 2 discs, and the music box you need to play them. Well, look at that now. What an ingenious little invention. So then, as promised, 10 guineas for you, young man. What's this? Windybank's pawnbrokery? Right, 'tis a pawnbroker's ticket, so it is. You can use it to redeem an article I've deposited there for you. There's no need to give a name. Just hand over the ticket and tell the fiend the watchword. Watchword? I put a jewel in pawn for you. It'll fetch a good 10 guineas if you sell it, so it will. I've never heard of a pawnbrokery being used in quite that way before. Have you not, Mr. Graydon? London's pawnbrokeries are very useful places, you know. Each one is like an extremely secure vault. So I knew that if he'd taken steps to hide the disc, it would be in that pawnbrokery somewhere. And that on the night he killed my father, he must have entrusted the ticket to someone. Yes, to Gina. I remember now that when we first met, you were at Windybanks that afternoon 2 days ago. You had a description of Mr. Strahd written down. How did you know who you were looking for? From the trial, that pickpocket's testimony was clearly peculiar. Anyone could see that. I realized immediately that she was another of McGuilded's pawns, that he must have threatened her somehow. I was fairly convinced that it would be her who had the ticket, so I started to make some inquiries. I had a strong suspicion the girl would come out of the woodwork on the redemption deadline. And he was absolutely right. And yes, sure enough, she did. All I needed to do was to wait until the girl went to Windybanks to redeem the articles. But unfortunately, she redeemed only McGuilded's overcoat and the one disc that was in its pocket. The all-important music box with the second disc inside was missing because it had already been forfeited 2 days earlier. But I was unaware of that fact. Had I not been, I could have avoided my nighttime excursion. Meanwhile, as our investigation into the stolen government secrets was progressing, we picked up on the fact that McGuilded was involved. Inspector, you've recovered fast. I thought you were dead. I thought your neck was snapped. My orders were to recover the stolen information as quickly as possible, so we started gathering the fella's possessions and examining whatever we could lay our hands on. We had a full-scale investigation going on at the yard, but we had to keep it as quiet as we could. Then, when the inspector here took the disc from me in the pawnbrokery that day, I became nervous. I was sure the music box and the second disc was still there in the shop somewhere, so I knew that it was a race against time. I had to find those articles before the police did. So that's what prompted you to break into the place that same night. With the help of your old friends, the Skulkin brothers. What happened that night in the pawnbrokery, I can only describe as a nightmare. While Nash and Ringo were searching the counter, I located the music box I sold to McGuilded on the shelves of forfeited articles, and the second disc was inside. Yes, I slipped it into my pocket with a very deep sigh of relief. But then something entirely unexpected happened. What are you doing in my shop? A gunshot rang out in the shop, and I felt a sharp pain in my left arm. The broker fired his gun, and the bullet pierced your limb. Yes, exactly. But unfortunately, I decided to bring my own gun with me that night, just in case. The third gun! Killed Windybanks. Before I knew what was happening, I'd fired back. The man had already turned to flee. I hadn't intended to fire in his direction, much less kill him. But unfortunately for both of us, the bullet hit home. It struck him in the middle of his back as he fled through the storeroom door for refuge. A sorry tale. It all took place in the blink of an eye. I don't imagine Nash and Ringo even realised what had happened at first. I was terrified, so I fled. And that's the whole story. That's everything that happened at Windybanks on that wretched night. Still don't feel sorry for you. You're an idiot and a dick. Somebody say something. Say it. Anyone. He's an idiot and a dick. Earlier, you called McGuilded a monster. A man who used his wealth and influence to distort the facts and escape justice for the crime of murder. What tragic irony. For what you have done is exactly the same. Thank you, Vancy. See, he said it just in a more articulate way. But yeah, I agree. What he did is exactly the same as McGill did. What you got to say to that? You've become the very monster you saw and despised so deeply in McGuilded. Van Zeeks know how to make the words pierce in the heart. Yeah, for people who do not know, Van Zeeks does not like McGuilded. But I can see for a very good reason. McGuilded was an absolute monster. He murdered Mason and we had to defend him as part of our trial. Ugh, it was so annoying and the most unsatisfying case in existence. It only took one stream to complete. McGuilded died after that. He got murdered by Graydon, but he did it in exactly the same way as McGuilded would, and it's ugh. Yes, I think I have. You think? No, we know. Well, this has been a long and exhausting trial. You tell me. However, it would seem that at last we have arrived at the truth. Inspector Gregson, what of Mr. Ashley Craydon? He's been restrained, my lord, and is being escorted to the yard. He'll be charged with the murder of Mr. Windybank and the stealing of government secrets. What about you? What about you, Gregson? You're not going to get away this easily. I feel like he's going to lose his job. Very good. And you, Inspector. Ooh. Regrettably, you will have to face charges yourself. Yes, my lord, of course. It transpires that you were complicit in helping a criminal escape justice. That fact remains, whether or not you were doing so in a line of duty. The crime is a serious one, Inspector, and inexcusable. Gregson lost his job. That's all I can think of. Is he going to go to prison? I don't particularly know. Now to the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade. Yeah? It is time for the final adjudication. Is the jury ready, Mr. Foreman? Yes, sir. Garrett Squadron standing by, sir. This is really it now. The last push, the final call, the finishing whistle. My men are ready to deliver their verdicts. Thank you, Mr. Foreman. Let's go. Very well. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will now declare your final decisions to the court.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Aha! That's the stuff. I'm off the hook. Finally, Runa, you finally managed to do it. Finally is the word. I really wasn't sure if we'd come out on top for a while there. Susie was right. You're the best lawyer in the world. We've done it, everyone. Mr. Strahd, I am not finished with you yet. Yeah? What? What are you looking at me for like that? Before you start enjoying your freedom, there are certain other crimes to consider. Yeah? 2 months ago, in my courtroom no less, you gave false testimony, did you not? And in relation to the trial today, not only did you unlawfully enter Windy Bank's pawnbrokery, you also attempted to abscond with Mr. McGuilded's property, it seems. Yeah? Well, I've never done nothing of the sort. Of course not. It's not like you were gleefully wearing McGuilded's coat in your cell yesterday or anything. God's sake, Gina. Oh, and just when I was getting excited about throwing a party for Ginny this evening. And turning our attention to the defense. Determining that, when played together, the music box discs contained a message in Morse code was, well, it was certainly a most unexpected revelation, counsel. Quite so, my lord. The prosecution was caught entirely off guard. In fact, I think we should applaud my learned friend's courage here today. I propose a toast to demanding that government secrets be disseminated before the entire courtroom. Huh? Wait, what was the secret though? It was played. The 2 discs played together. What was the message? I'm very sorry about that. It was the only way that I could get Inspector Gregson to admit what he'd done, so if I may say something on that point. Isn't that... Ooh, who is that? I'm going to guess who that is. I'm going to guess it's juror number 5. It's about the sounds produced by the music box before. I was waiting for you to pipe up, juror number 5, because you're a communications Morse code expert. Come on, let's hear it. I do wonder if that was really Morse code at all. What? What are you saying, madame? Oh, well, it's just that I'm really rather fanatical when it comes to Morse code, you see. So much so that the whole world seems to be covered in dots and dashes to me, in fact. Goodness, madame, an unhealthy level of obsession one feels. But I must say that, in my opinion, the sounds produced by those 2 discs were nothing more than that. A meaningless series of 2 different tones. Oh. Interesting. What? Can that really be? Then why was... Wait, if they're just meaningless sounds, why was Gregson being huffy and puffy about it? I don't particularly understand. It wasn't him. Graydon was being huffy and puffy about it. They were legitimately scared of the music box. It wasn't Morse code after all. My lord, the defense would like to listen to the music box again. Are you off your nut? How many times do I have to tell you those discs contain minstrel secrets, sunshine? Yeah, but if people don't understand it, who cares? This courtroom is not an appropriate forum to discuss the nature of the government communications. We know McGuilded conspired to trade national secrets with our enemies, secrets acquired from Mr. Graydon. Now that the man has admitted to his crimes, we have no need to pursue the matter further. But it's really going to bother me. It's going to bother me too. What is it? Miss Lestrade? Yeah, my lord? That which you have seen today here in this courtroom has been extremely disturbing. Falsified evidence, intimidation, perjury, a grim catalogue of depravity. Indeed. An appalling experience to befall any child. She is 15. That's a lot to take in. Gina takes this by stride. Bless her heart. Come on, it ain't nothing I don't see most days in the back salons. I beg your pardon. If you're weak, you pay for it. That's just how life goes. Gina. But look, I reckon I've worked something out today. The world ain't fair, but if you wanted to change, you've got to start at home. You've got to change how you are yourself. Well, that's a very laudable lesson, I would say. I eagerly look forward to the born again Miss Lestrade never gracing my courtroom with her presence again. Now, with regard to the murder of Mr. Pop Windybank, proprietor of a pawnbrokery business on Baker Street, I hereby declare the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade, not guilty. Woo! Let fireworks in the courtroom again. And there's Gina shooting a firework for herself. Bless her heart. That is all. Court is adjourned. We did good. What is happening? Why is it just the two of us? I'm so confused. On a personal note, I must say you've surprised me, my Far Eastern friend. Oh! Despite being a Nipponese, you saw through the pretense to the malice that festered within the Englishman, and at the same time saw through the grime to the surprising heart of your English client. Sorry, I really got itchy arm. You have a curious talent for judging character, especially considering our very different cultures. I don't think there's anything curious about it. Whether we're from the Empire of Great Britain or the Empire of Japan, we're all human beings. We're not so very different on the inside. Agreed. Well said, Rionesque. You know, I took this case for one very simple reason. To lock swords with you once again here in the courtroom. You did? When I encountered you for the first time 2 months ago, it reminded me of toasting friendship and trust with another Nipponese, only to find my trust betrayed. Through you, I hope to look into the eyes of the man I once knew and try to understand. Wait, what? You mentioned something similar earlier today about total betrayal at the hands of the Japanese. What happened exactly? Wait, what happened? Well, you may ask. And one day, when the time comes, you will learn the answer, whether you like it or not. Holy shit! Alright, then I'll wait for that day if I must. Are we going to learn a bit about Von Sieg? I am actually very curious about him. He's a very complex character. Coming to be known as the Reaper of the Bailey, and my retirement from service 5 years ago, it gives me cause to wonder if our meeting has some deeper purpose. So, farewell, my learned Nipponese fellow, until we meet again. This is tense. Are we going to learn a bit about Von Siegs? 17th of April, 5:24 p.m. The Old Bailey, Defendant's Antechamber. It's done. It's over at last. But where's Iris disappeared to? Gina! Ah! Congratulations, Gina! I knew it all along. I knew that you were innocent. Well, you did what you said, Mr. Noah-Odo. You believed in me, right up to the end. You're as odd as your name. What's odd about it? I told you I had faith in you, didn't I? No one ever has before, see? Kept a promise, I mean, properly. That's awful. Yeah, I figured something out today. All my life, growing up in the slums, I've never trusted no one. But that's just because I've been scared of being stabbed in the back. I mean, the more you trust someone, the more it hurts when they let you down. I mean, I can understand that. Yes, I think I can understand that. I feel like this game is reading my mind. After all, I had a taste of it in that trial 2 months ago. I chose to trust someone and paid for it. That betrayal left a big scar. You know though, Gina, I worked something out quite recently too. Trusting in someone else is really an exercise in learning to trust yourself. And when your gut tells you it's the right thing to do, and your trust is rewarded, there's no better feeling in the world. I think I have you to thank for reminding me of that valuable lesson. Oh, well, if you say so. Don't make a fat lot of sense to me, though. I'm trying to say that putting my faith in you, Gina, has been a real pleasure. Oh, for crying out loud, pack it in! Well, but I suppose I sort of feel the same way. I mean, sometimes trusting someone else is, you know, alright. Oh, bless her heart. Thanks. This is the way I see it, Ryunosuke. A defense lawyer is only as good as his faith in his client. And that comes down to how much faith he has in himself. After this experience, I'm starting to feel like I understand what you mean. Kazuma, am I living up to your expectations? Am I turning out to be the lawyer you believed I could be? Pardon the interruption. But what the deuce does a man have to do to be noticed around here, my dear fellow? Sherlock! That voice. It's too late for that voice now, Mr. Naruhodo. I've been standing here patiently in the corner of the room for an eternity. Aha! Yes, it was me all along, I would have said when finally you noticed me. The two people with your incessant babbling. Ah, Mr. Shums! Haha, yes, it was me all along. Are you okay? You see? Didn't you pass out? Sherlock Holmes! I'd assumed you'd been taken back to the hospital, to be honest. Indeed I was, but I managed to escape again. Oh. I happen to be aware of one or two foibles of the doctor who was tending to me. I merely made my knowledge of them known to the man, and he happily issued me with a leave of absence. How very above board. But enough of my adventures. That was a fine victory, Mr. Naruhodo. Your tireless efforts justly rewarded, I feel. Congratulations are in order. As a close friend, I tip my hat to you. Yeah! Oh, thank you. Some great detective you are. Great at being cold as ice, maybe. Have I irked you in some way, Miss Lestrade? While you've been having a snooze in your nice soft bed, some of us have been fighting for our lives. That bullet did cause me to lose a substantial amount of blood, it's true. So I have indeed been feeling somewhat cold. Not perhaps as cold as ice, but, well, have a feel. Could you take your hands off my neck, please, Mr. Schultz? And in some way, I suppose, congratulations are in order for you too, Miss Lestrade. Well, what's that supposed to mean? Why so half-hearted? Well, naturally, it isn't my intention to alarm you, but... An acquittal in a trial with that particular prosecutor is perhaps a little precarious. Well done, Mr. Sherms. Not alarming in the slightest. Oh? The Reaper, you mean? Because anyone who's found not guilty in the trial he was working on winds up dead anyway, is that it? The very point I was trying to make, as exemplified by the fate of Mr. McGuilded, in fact. Yeah, but that was by somebody else. It's nothing to do with Reaper. Reaper had nothing to do with it, and I probably shouldn't defend the man, but I think that was just a coincidence. Ah, but of course I paid no attention to such a rational drivel myself. Yeah, well, it don't bother me. Oh, really? Of course not. The way I see it, the Reaper's a bit like I'm upstairs. Him upstairs? You mean like God? Yeah, him upstairs knows what's what, right? He knows what people are like on the inside. I won't have got the wrong end of the stick. There are some cops are like that bug trotter, what are rotten to the core. At the end of the day, him upstairs makes sure they get what they deserve. I suppose that's one way of looking at it. Divine justice is one thing, though. The Reaper taking matters into his own hand and claiming lives is another. Well, I ain't like the McGuildeds of this world, so I ain't scared. I got principles, see? A trait in you which is to be admired, Miss Lestrade. Oi! Just give a rest, alright? As I was saying, congratulations are in order. The news of your acquittal was very welcome news to me indeed. Let me express my heartfelt congratulations, Gina. Well, there you are, Honey! How long have you been here? Honestly, I went to the main entrance especially to meet you there. Ah, Iris, my dear, I do apologize. But wait until I tell you what happened. This pair made utter fools of themselves. What happened? As you know, I have a penchant for disguise. I was hiding in this room dressed as a bailiff. But these dolts didn't notice my presence at all. They had no idea. We never know your presence, Sherlock. Can you imagine, Iris? Would you credit it? I'm not sure, really. I beg your pardon? I'm sorry, Hurley, but you just don't have the weighty presence you seem to think you have. In fact, you really ought to be careful about that. It's going to land you in trouble one day. I'll be careful. Ouch. Ouch. Definite ouch. Anyway, it's such a shame. I was so hoping to throw a party for Ginny tonight, but you won't be able to come, will you? Don't look like I'm gonna be going nowhere for a while. You heard the judge's patter. I got stuff to make amends for, apparently. All them offences. What was it again? Breaking and entering, taking the bog trotter stuff, what was in log, blah blah blah. Yes, I think you find that basically being a pickpocket is the main offence. But diving ain't an offence. It's a job, isn't it? I don't think so. Still, it's got me thinking all this. Maybe I should start looking for another line of work. I mean, you didn't start off as a lawyer, did you, Otto? Well, no, but I was never a pickpocket. Well, anyway, I reckon I can make a change. I'm gonna do something for all them lot like me from the slums. Something that makes a difference for them. Good for you, Gina. That's a wonderful idea, Ginny. And I'm sure you could do it. What is it? Aww. Oh, bless old Gina. Nothing. Miss Gina Lestrade! The prison carriage has arrived, ma'am. Come with me to the rear gate at once. Right. Well, looks like I'm off then. Yes, goodbye, Gina. And good luck. Otto? Yes? for? I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to say, so... Ah, indeed. Perhaps the situation calls for a phrase hitherto missing from your vocabulary, Miss Lestrade. Eh? On occasions such as this, I would recommend a simple thank you. Oh! Oh, yes. It's good advice, Ginny. Right, I see. Well... Come on, Gina, you can do it. Aww. Thanks, Odo. Aww. Oh, no, I'm gonna cry. Thank you for everything what you've done, for believing in me. Oh, she's... Aww. Not at all. In fact, that should be my line. Thank you, Gina. Oh, bless her heart. Is there more cases after this? I feel like there is. We get to see, hopefully we get to see Gina again. Well, there she goes. I wonder if I'll ever see her again. Well, well, quite the indomitable pig purse. Oh, I nearly forgot. I bought a paper outside. It's a special edition, and this trial is all over the front page. Pickpocket's innocence proven. Isn't it wonderful? You should have shown it to Gina, Iris. She should have been thrilled. Oh no, how silly of me. Well, but anyway, would you like the good news or the bad news? Hi, Naturaholic. Hello, lovely. Let me give you a shout out. How are you doing today? Hope you're having a lovely weekend thus far. Ooh, Port Royal 3 Pirates and Merchants. That sounds so cool. Is it like a Royal Gown? Royal Gown? Royal Game. There we go. Ugh, not again. Well, I don't... We are just about finishing this case, it looks like. Well, what do you say, Runo? Really? As usual, I think I'd rather get the bad news out of the way first. Absolutely not. I have no intention of listening to anything but good news. Just laying down right now. Yeah, it's running on my stream right now. Nice. It's a pirate game. Oh, I do love a good pirate game. I think the only pirates game that I played with pirates in is probably The Sims Medieval, which is probably not good, but oh, that sounds very cool. And there you have it. How people answer that question says a lot about them, isn't it? Doesn't it? Let's not go there. Alright then, maybe let's start with the good news this time. The rain has finally stopped. It was a record level of rainfall, apparently. Well, that is good news indeed. We can journey back in greater comfort. So what's the bad news? Alright then, what's the bad news? The huge storm has left the seas very choppy. The channel in particular is awful, so sailings out of Dover have been delayed by a day or more. Does that mean we get to see Sasato one last time? Wait, Dover? That's right. If we head to the station immediately, we may still make it in time to wave Susie off. But there won't be a train, surely. We couldn't be that lucky. Who do you think I am, Mr. Naruhodo? Mr. Jones? I rushed to Victoria Station earlier and made arrangements for a special express. We get to see Sasato! If we hurry now, we shall be there in time for dinner. And I know of a fine restaurant that serves the most delicious baked sole. I don't. The great detective does it again. Indeed he does. I happen to be aware of a number of the transport director's foibles. What? I merely made my knowledge of them known to the man, and he happily laid on the locomotive. Elementary. Just an idea, but it might be wise to stop manipulating people that way. What are we waiting for then? To London, Victoria. That took somewhat longer than I had anticipated. Susie's boat must be about to leave now. Miss Sasato, where are you? I'm really worried now. I feel like something bad is... Oh no, there she is. Over there. Look. Looks like she's reading something.
Hold it!
What is she going to throw? Mrs. Sato, wait. What are you doing? What is she doing? Why is she going to throw the book into the sea? Mr. Naruhodo? What are you doing here? We came as soon as we could after the trial. I mean, we heard that sailings were being delayed due to the bad weather, you see. Oh, I see. Then tell me, how did Gina's trial go? It went well. She was acquitted. That's wonderful. Really wonderful news. Aww, she's happy! The book you're about to throw into the sea. It was your encyclopedia of British law, wasn't it? Oh dear, I was hoping you hadn't seen that. I'm not worthy of practicing law in any way now, so I was saying my final farewell. You were saying goodbye to law? You, Sasato-san. Would I be correct in assuming it's because of the peephole, Miss Sasato? I deliberately altered the scene of a crime, and then I tried to hide the fact. What I did is utterly unforgivable. That reminds me. How did you even come to have this, Susie? On the evening of the incident, Mr. Shams had invited Gina to dinner, if you remember. Oh, yes, we had a wonderful time. Well, Gina gave us a little introductory lesson, didn't she? To the art of pickpocketing, I mean. Oh, that was so much fun! I stole Runo's armband! Yes, please don't do that again, Iris. That band's very important to me. Well, if it's so important, you should pay more attention to it. You didn't notice for ages. Lol, I love Iris. On a whim, I thought it would be fun to see if I could take the cat flapper mat, so I put it up my sleeve. Ah! Really? And then I rather forgot about it, until I found myself in Mr. Windybank's shop with it later that night. I see. And then... Ah! Mr. Shams! Mr. Shams! Leave me, Mr. Naruhodo. Right. After Mr. Naruhodo had left the shop, I started to think, that door started to play on my mind. The storeroom door, you mean? Yes. If Gina was anywhere in the shop, I realised it could only be behind that door. And at that moment, the little device that I had up my sleeve sprang to mind. I was so worried about Gina. I simply had to know. So you used the cat flapper mat to make the peephole in the door? Not just open the door. Oh wait, was the door locked? I can't remember. As captured in a photographic print of the shop. By one of Hurley's red-handed recorders. Indeed, it was of the first importance that point. Precisely when the peephole was made, that information would prove to be Mr. Naruhodo's greatest weapon, though naturally without proof, it would have amounted to nothing. But when I looked through the peephole in the door, the sight that met my eyes made my blood run cold. Thoughts started to run through my mind. I remembered that trial 2 months earlier, the trial of Magnus McGuilded. I thought about how he had manipulated the evidence and arranged false testimony to secure his freedom. It made the British justice system feel very dark and sinister to me. And then a terrible thought occurred to me. What if some wicked criminal was planning to do the same thing now? because from the appearance of the crime scene, it looked exactly as though Gina had shot Mr. Windybanks. Even though I was sure she would never have done such a thing. You were worried that the true culprit would try to frame her for the crime? Which he did try to do, let's be honest. That's right, but then I realized it would be very difficult for anyone to give false testimony in this case. What do you mean? Well, the crime appeared to have happened behind the door of a locked room. Okay, so it was locked. For someone to claim falsely to have witnessed it, there would have to be a way to see beyond the door. Ah. For which, a peephole would be the very thing. Only the peephole I had made wasn't actually there until after the crime had been committed, of course. And the criminal would know that, so it wouldn't make any difference. But the possibility of a rather ingenious trap was there, was it not? A trap? Is that why she did it? So, is that why you kept it a secret, Susie? We still want to know what the music box was playing, though. It's not Morse code, what is it? You never mentioned that you made the peephole to anyone, not even to the police. I know. And I knew at the time what I was doing was wrong. A criminal offense, even. That's why I decided to confide in Mr. Sholmes. If Mr. Naruhodo was completely backed into a corner with no other possible means of escape, the truth about the peephole could save him. That was my plan. She really does think of everything. That's what makes her the greatest judicial assistant. But then, why didn't you just tell me everything before the trial began? My dear fellow, you're not thinking straight. If she had done that, it would have rendered you complicit to in the whole escapade. Ah. You could have been disbarred if you had been seen to have acknowledged tampered with the crime scene, so Mr. Sato decided to shoulder the burden of responsibility alone. For your sake and Mr. Strahd's. Mr. Sato. Oh. Come back, Sasato. The truth is, when it happened, I did it because I'd lost a little of my faith in the law. Oh. I was worried that the right person wouldn't be convicted of the crime, but the moment I allowed myself to think that, it's the moment I lost my right to call myself a judicial assistant. Sato! What you did isn't comparable to what he did. Graydon is the one who lied in the witness stand, using that peephole as a way to implicate Gina. And besides, if the peephole inconsistency hadn't existed, I'm not at all sure that she would have been acquitted in the end. Mr. Sato, what you did saved Gina's life. Oh, with your kind words, Mr. Naruhodo. You've saved me too from my regrets. So you're coming back? Is she coming back? Well, we must all be thankful that Mr. Strahd's freedom has been assured. Yes, exactly. Although some of the loose ends in that trial will continue to play on my mind, I'm sure. But the revelation that the music box disc contains secret messages, Mr. Naruhodo. What a triumph to work that out. I'm full of admiration. Well, actually, that argument wasn't quite as compelling as I thought it was. Oh, it wasn't? There was a communications officer among the jury members, you see, a telegraph operator. And she said that the majority of the sounds on the disc were just meaningless tones. As one would expect, after all, we are talking about secret government communications. No doubt they were written in cipher to avoid being readily understood should they have been intercepted. In cipher? I see. So then we could never have hoped to understand the message anyway. Nonsense, my dear fellow! It's quite a zero-pipe problem, I assure you. A. Sogi? What? Well, that can't be a real word, can it? How funny. Wait! Iris, what did you just say? Oh, I just said Asogi! Does that word mean something to you? Mean something? Asogi was the name of my best friend. Oh, what? But how? How do you know that name, Iris? I wrote it down during the trial before, when the message was playing on the music box. She transcribed it on the fly. She really is a genius. What does it say? I thought the message probably wouldn't be written out in plain Morse code, so I tried various ways to interpret it. But whatever I tried, the words just didn't seem to make any sense. That is, in English at least. So it was transcribed in Japanese. Oh. It suddenly occurred to me, you see, there's more than one Morse code, not just the English variety. Various countries around the world have altered and added to Morse code to use it in their own languages. I don't believe it! Are you saying? That's right. I've only actually seen a chart of Japanese Morse code once before, but I think it's based on the Iroha pangram, isn't it? And do you mean to say that in Japanese Morse code the message says Asogi? What the heck? Yes, I think so. Sorry, but I don't remember all of the Japanese Morse code. Iris, would you let me see that? Mr. Sato, do you know it? Do you know Japanese Morse code? Yes, I spent some time studying it. Because I'm quite sure Morse code will become ever more important for international communications. Then might I recommend, my dear madame, that you focus your efforts on the English version? But be that as it may, I will show me the message, please. Of course. What does it say? But what can this possibly mean? Whatever is in that long sequence of supposedly meaningless dots and dashes. It's made the color drain from Susato-san's face. There's no doubt that this message is written in Japanese Morse code. But the British Empire has been using Japanese for its secret communications? I don't understand the reason why, but the message appears to be a list of 4 people's names. 4 names? The first is Kei Asogi. Kazuma Asogi. Why was his name on that disc? That's strange. But people do not know who Kazuma Asogi is. He was Ryunosuke's best friend, and he was the one who defended Ryunosuke in the first ever trial. And then in the boat, going along the seas from Japan to Britain, he got murdered while helping a Russian ballerina who was in that same boat. So yeah. This is all very something. Why was Asogi in this disc? The second is A Shin. Shin? I don't recognize that name. The third is T Gurgusen. Gregson? Shin. Ah, it would seem Tobias Gregson is the third man on the list. And what's his name doing in the secret government communication as well? And the last name. What's the matter, Mr. Sato? It's just so strange. So unexpected. Oh, what is it, Susie? Don't keep us in suspense. Yeah, don't keep us in suspense. We got too much of that already. The last name is J. Wilson. John Wilson. What? Wilson? John H. Wilson? You mean Daddy? Wait. And 2 of them have been murdered. We don't know who Shin is though. It says only J. Wilson, so I'm afraid I can't be sure. Oh, and another thing, Iris does not know that her dad is dead, by the way. He got murdered in the first case while he was in Japan. She just assumed that he is still living abroad in Japan. This is so much to take in. Then, after the full names, it reads, if I translate from Japanese, that is all for, and that's the end of the message, or rather the end of what you noted down, Iris. I just can't believe it. Who would ever have thought that those discs contained Japanese Morse code? Not to mention a strange list of some disturbingly familiar names. It would appear that this particular message is a communication of some kind between Great Britain and the Empire of Japan. So, Daddy could be in Japan then. Where's Susie and Runo come from? Oh, well. No, it's not very likely really, is it? I mean, there are thousands of people with the surname Wilson, and there must be lots of J's among them. Yes. Who's gonna tell her? Who's gonna tell her? Professor John H. Wilson, visiting professor of medicine at the Imperial Yumai University. But we can't tell Iris about that now. We just can't. So when are you going to tell her? What if she finds out that her dad got murdered, and that she found out that you knew about it? She's very, very intelligent little girl. Come on. Then she's going to hate you. This is so strange. Somehow, in solving the case of Mr. Windybank's murder today, I feel like I've rolled back a boulder at the mouth of a very dark cave. I do wonder if perhaps it's a dark cave that we shouldn't go wandering inside. Forget that this message exists? Oh dear, the ship is going to set sail soon. Yes, it seems so. I'll sail on that steamship first to the port of Dunkirk in France. Then I'll change on to a larger passenger vessel bound for Japan. You're really going then, Susie? We wish you a safe passage, Mr. Sato. Bye, Sato. Thank you so much. I wish all of you the very best. Mr. Sato, I had hoped to have you always be at my side, to guide me and support me. Mr. Naruhodo, please come back soon. As far as I'm concerned, you really are the very best judicial assistant in the world. I'm quite sure I'll be back before you know it. Really, Susie? Oh, no, don't forget, Iris, I made you a promise I've yet to fulfill. A promise about your manuscript. Ah, oh yes, the Hound of the Baskervilles. Well, I'll be waiting for you then, Susie. A promise is a promise. Definitely, Iris. I'm sure we'll see Sasato soon. This reminds me of when Maya went back to her village to complete her medium training. It gives me that kind of vibe. Mr. Naruhodo? Yes? Do you remember the first time we met? Yes, of course. On the SS Buria, when I was dragged out from that wardrobe, still have the same. No, you met her before that. She helped with, she helped you and Asugi with the murder. If I remember rightly, you threw me halfway across the cabin with a Sasato takedown. You never know that I'm talking about after that. It's strange, but being thrown together as we were in that case, I somehow felt straight away that you were the perfect person to continue Kazuma-sama's great legacy. Mr. Sato. And my instincts were right. I really want to believe. No. I'm sure that. I'll be back soon. Farewell until then. Bye, Sasato. I'll see you soon. Oh, this is the cutscene. Okay.
Somehow we seem to have come to the end of the adventures of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Or the first volume, at least.
Oh, look, it's the kitty!
Looking back now, it feels as though fate has led me on this journey.
The kitty's running as well.
Fate led me to becoming a lawyer, to traveling halfway around the world, to meeting the great detective.
Oh, what is she shouting?
I'm sure there'll be trials and tribulations ahead. Of course there will. But whatever happens, I know I'll be able to turn my fortunes around.
And there's Charlotte playing the violin.
After all, I have the greatest friends in the world on my side.
Ah, that is the end of the case. Oh, hello. Ah, yes, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, Mr. Shans? I have some rather awkward news. The railway company has decided to sue over the special express train, apparently. You're in... Huh? It caused such a commotion on the line while the other trains had to wait at stations. But really, we would never have made it to Dover in time otherwise. Anyway, I explained everything and how it was all your fault. So, do you want to take the greatest friend's comment back, Ryunosuke? I believe a formal complaint should be delivered to your office tomorrow. But not to worry, my dear fellow, according to Mr. Sato. You love defending yourself in court. It's alright, I'm perfectly happy to testify. He really didn't look like the sort of man who'd do something so outrageous. See? Mr. Sholmes? Yes? A word, if you don't mind. Why, certainly, any word you like. Bellow it out, my dear fellow. Oh, yes, I love Runo's words, and I know just the one he'll use here. Then I really must say...
Objection!
Objection! Have we beaten the game, or is there more? In the following weeks, hundreds of music boxes arrived at Baker Street from all over Europe. Something was afoot, though it transpired I had ordered them all myself, so I advertised them for sale with use by Mr. Sholmes to solve an important case. And the money I've earned, consulting detective work pays a pittance by compulsion. Well done, Sherlock Holmes. He's amazing. I love him to bits. I haven't slept a wink. This manuscript is due tomorrow now. When I'm this busy, Hurley usually cooks me breakfast. Well, cooks is an overstatement, but some dry toast and insipid coffee. I do miss Susie and her lovely Japanese breakfasts. Also, I love this music. I think this has like the best music. What are you doing here? Your testimony is riddled with contradictions. Exactly. Rarely do rare Corbin coins hide under rare stakes themselves. Oh, this is from the first case. Well, I don't know, sir knows his father is an innocent man, or are you witnesses? My courtroom is no place for your petty arguments. Lol. actor. Having delivered the Russian dancer to shore in Shanghai, I lay low on the steamship for a while. But last night, I apprehended an extremely suspicious Japanese national on board. I've done nothing wrong! All I did was give Wagahai's offspring refuge in my pocket. A man brings some kittens on board, and suddenly he's a hardened criminal. It's not fair! You got a kitten? I forgot about him. Hi. Scientific investigation will be the gold standard for police. Oh, this is so... I dream of a world governed by the tenets of order and discipline. Like a great clock, in fact, whose hundreds of parts mesh together in perfect unison. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have but 2 minutes and 37 seconds until my next appointment. Love him. Love him to bits. Oh, we dislike you though. Gazina's out and I'm in it again. Whenever I say that one line she wrote now, I get a standing ovation. Want to hear it? Not bad, I suppose, for an amateur. Her ladyship puts me to shame. Yeah, we dislike you, Gregson. You're a fucking idiot. Been visiting the old girl on a daily basis, of course. Joni, my old jailbird. Must say, battling with those bally stairs every day has done wonders for the dicky beg. Managing rather well with the housework too. Got this maid business taped up, I say. Hope the gossiping neighbours don't realise the man of the house is his own maid. It's a good thing. Oh my god, the couple! My Ronnie is back on the beat again, all thanks to the Reaper. There's nothing I enjoy more these days than hunting out small change in the gutter. I'm a better Bobby now, looking out for Londoners that dropped our pennies and my lovely wife. Oh, Pat. Oh, Ronnie. Well, they're still in love. That's sweet. Hey Gina, looks like I'm going to be doing time for a bit now. But Iris comes every day for a natter, so it ain't too boring. She's always going on about all them cases what Sholmes is looking into. Criminal investigations are kind of interesting when you get into them. Oh Gina, we wish the best for you. I think she's going to do great. Yes, I renounced my upbringing and chose a life of sophisticated crime. But regrets, please. Give over, bruv! That ain't the Ash we used to know. We got a time in here to plan the comeback of Milverton and Skulkin's milk pan, huh? The three must go whatsits, milking the neighbourhood for all it's worth. Wow! I don't know what to say to that. That was something. That was something. Mr. Sato, this past 6 months has been a time I shall remember forevermore. Painful goodbyes and wonderful encounters. I've come to realize that's what life is all about. Naruhodo-san, I promise. Your assistant will return to you one day, but for now, I leave you with many memories and a heartfelt wish that life will treat you well. I love that she's looking at the name. Okay, that's cute. Wait, Ryunosuke's the one pulling Sherlock in for a photo? That's adorable. And there's a kitty! Oh, that's so cute. What is this? Oh, we get to see the voices. Nigel Pilkington sounds vaguely familiar. Okay, so we're looking through the cases. So this is the first case where Ryunosuke was being framed for shooting John Wilson. But it turns out to be the gentlewoman. So we're walking with... Oh, that's a Soki, by the way. Oh, so Soki stopped. So it's just Ryunosuke on his own. Oh, that's the ballerina who's in the same ship as us. Bless her heart. Oh, I do like this. This is really, really cute. Aren't you gonna keep walking? Oh, there you go. He's walking with his sword. Is Sasato with you? Is Sasato walking with you? Yeah, there she is. So this is case 3. This is the trial run of being a defense lawyer, and it went very, very badly. We meant to defend McGuilded and getting him to be a free man, but he was actually the murderer. Great. I hate this case. It was the most unsatisfactory case in existence. Look at him evilly smiling, evilly laughing. Fuck that dude. Now, we meet Herlock Sholmes. Technically, we met Herlock Sholmes in the second case. I don't know why he didn't. We didn't meet him there, but he's walking with us. Now, this is case 4. This was about the maid. Oh yeah, and the dude who we're defending. There's the cat. The cat is walking with us, right? Wait, the cat is not walking with us? This is truly adorable. I do love it, so cute. This is Van Zeeks. I see it now. So this is the last case. Wait, shoot the firework, Gina. So was this the first game of the Ace Attorney Chronicles? I feel like it might be. What's the time? Ah. Hi, Bright Lights. Hello, lovely. How are you doing today? Let me give you a shout out. How have you been? I'm sorry, we just ended the case.
Oh, fucking baby powder.
Finn.
Why are you drinking the baby powder?
Yay! Hi, Levi. Hello, welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? Fleeting farewell. Is there any more? If not, I'm gonna have to get some Nancy Drew games. But how is everyone? I hope everyone is having a lovely weekend. Was that it? You're doing good. You're doing okay. Oh, it sounds like you're feeling a bit better, Levi. That's good to hear. You had chicken. Oh, that's good. I was confused. I read that as I had children. I definitely need to have some tea. You had chicken. I do love some good chicken. Was that it? Was it only 5 cases? I'm gonna have to research that. Oh, there's 10? 10 puzzling cases. You sure? You sure there's 10 cases? So there's a second one. Oh. Yeah, good. That's good to hear, Butterflies. I hope you're having a lovely weekend and had a lovely week. Be right back. No worries, Levi. What special contents? Oh. So that was the first half of the game then. Okay. I'm gonna leave it there. Wait, I'm gonna see. Oh, no. Then never mind. I see. Gotcha. That makes perfect sense. Okay. Well, we're gonna change games, but first I'm gonna go for a break because I'm in desperate need to pee. But I'm going to change to Coral Island for some short, cozy streams. But okay, there are 2 games in there. So it looks like we're gonna... Sorry. There we go. So I'm going to take a break. I suggest you guys do the same. Definitely quit this. Exit game. Yes. And I'll put some Christmas music on. So yes, I suggest you guys have a break yourself. Go get a drink, go get food, stretch your legs, get some air and things like that. And yeah, I shall see you guys in a little bit.